Hi everyone, welcome to GTS Distributions Come and Play Day here in Seattle. My name is Rodney Smith and I've been joined by John Westcott with Arcane Tinmen. Hi John, how you doing?
Doing fantastic.
All right, you brought something with you. What is this?
So this is the Spoils. It's a community card game.
Wait, it's a what?
It's a community card game.
So it's a CCG, but the C is community.
Right.
What do you mean here?
So we really like to focus on the aspect of being involved with our players. And one of the ways that we do that is on our forums. We have an open research and development forum where players can actually post ideas. And of our new sets, we might actually take 10 to 20% of the cards that players make in those forums and put them on our cards. Okay. And the players will actually receive credit for that development on the cards. It'll say open R&D design or concept by the player's handle on the forum.
Really? So they have a direct influence then, and they, like you said, get credit for it right in the content itself.
Right, and not only that, but we also involve them in a lot of decisions with the game. You know, where do they want to take the game in terms of card design? What would they like to see more of? We really like to poll our community and then take that feedback and put it in as much as we can in guiding our decision.
So you're not just limited basically to the creativity within your own team, which I'm sure is immense,
right?
But you're going beyond that as well, right, to the community who's playing the game.
Right.
Okay, very, very interesting. Well, we've got a few cards laid out here. Can you give us a quick walkthrough of the game? This is a deck building, collectible.
It's a collectible game, so you'll take these components and you'll create a deck.
We're going to fight each other, aren't we?
We're going to fight each other. Okay. Yeah, we're going to fight each other. So a deck is 75 cards, and it consists of the cards that you see in front of you. A deck will have one faction card, which you see at the top, and that's kind of a rules card that tells you, how much influence you have. The objective of the game is to get your opponent's influence of their faction to 0, and then you use these resource cards that you see. The elitism, the rage, the greed, the deception, and the obsession. Those are all representative of the 5 different trades in the game. And trades are kind of like what people do in the world. So you have gearsmiths, you have warlords, bankers, rogues, and you have the arcanists. Okay. And so you use these resources to play your other cards. And the other card types that you'll actually put into play after that will be the characters, which you see the opportunistic pirate. You see tactics, which is the exploding stock puppet. That's your one-use card, so you use that, goes to your discard pile.
Yes.
You have the juice closet. That's an item that sits in play and has some effect on the game. And then you have the location, which again sits in play, has some kind of effect on the game, but also has that structure and can be attacked directly with your characters. So with your characters, you're attacking your opponent's faction, and if they have a location in play, you can also attack that as well.
So what is the setting here? It appears like we're not all getting along. So why is that? What's the situation we find ourselves in? Okay,
so the game occurs in a world called Luridia, which is actually our own world many millennia after humankind have kind of met their own natural ending. Not in any kind of apocalyptic way. Okay. The world changes, the universe changes, the laws of physics change, and so many millennia after the first races appear, everybody kind of starts to do their own thing, and they get in the thick of it. There's politics, there's greed, and so in the Spoils you have this kind of, it's almost like a satire on our own world. You have the bankers, very greedy folks. You have the rogues, very deceptive. They're gamblers, drug dealers, hedonists, and things like that. Yeah. And then you have the warlords who just like to punch things. So you have these various trades, what people do, and then they might be involved in a particular faction. So you could have somebody, for instance, who is in the warlord trade and the banker trade be involved in a faction called the Knitting Coalition, which may or may not exist.
Okay. The Knitting Coalition?
Knitting Coalition. I cannot confirm nor deny its existence. So in this world, you just kind of have crazy things happening. It's a very inhospitable world where, the living space is kind of cramped, and, you have the Arcanists, which are kind of like their warehouse mages, where they work with these mages with bowler hats. They kind of go to work in a factory and produce this stuff called voidal humor. Right. And so and the game is kind of a satire on our own world. And so if you were to resurrect H.P. Lovecraft, Carol Lewis, and J.R.R. Tolkien and kind of force them to come together and write this epic, it might come out something like The Spoils.
Okay, well that gives us a pretty good picture of it. Now I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but there's a few collectible card games, community card games on the market. So what makes yours different? What makes yours stand out?
So the Spoils was designed from the ground up to put the player in control of the deck as opposed to the deck in control of the player, which is a relationship that you see in a lot of those card games where it's really based on what you're drawing and you're kind of controlled by that. So the way that the game deals with that is you actually start the game with 2 resources in play. So one of the limitations of a game that has resources in it to play your other cards is if you don't draw the resources, you can't play your cards, right?
Sure. Your fate is almost a little bit sealed, right, by that opening hand.
Exactly.
Shoot, I can see that the next few turns I'm going to be kind of stymied here.
Right, exactly. Okay. So you start the game with 2 resources in play, which depending on your faction, you get to kind of choose what those are. So you have a lot of control there. you can actually take any card in your hand, be it a character, tactic, item, or location, and you can play it face down as a resource. So even if you don't draw an actual resource card, you can still play resources and still continue playing cards.
Okay.
Now the other piece that you can do, the other thing is after the start of the game, you get a partial mulligan that you can do. So if I don't like my opening hand of 8 cards, I can take 3 of those, put them on the bottom of my deck, and then draw 3 more. I don't shuffle, so I'm not subject to more randomness of drawing the same cards. I just dig deeper into my deck.
And you're putting them, okay, I'm getting rid of these, and I'm getting rid of these for a while.
Right.
Too, right? So
yeah, they're on the bottom of the deck. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and the other piece too is there's no max hand size, and you don't lose the game if you cannot draw a card. So if I were to draw my entire deck, I would just keep playing with what I have in my hand.
It's gonna be limited.
Right.
You're going to be on your heels a little bit here, right? But you're not out. Okay.
And depending, because with a 75-card deck, if I have drawn my whole deck, the chances are I've got a lot of options.
That's a good point, too.
I've got a lot of options.
Right on.
Now, so the other thing that makes the game different are the mechanics that we see that are in the game that are rarely seen in the games that are currently on the market.
Okay.
So one of the big differences that's kind of odd to a lot of players is that there are no phases in this game. You have these 2 rules that you follow at the start of your turn, but after that, you actually get to take your turn however you like.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, I've got 5 characters in play at the start of my turn. I follow my restore rule, get everything ready again. I follow my develop rule, let's say I play another resource. Then I can attack with a character. I could play a card. I could then attack with 2 characters and see what you do. Then I can use an ability and then pass the turn. And so your decision tree is completely up to you, how you want to come at your opponent. And your opponent's not going to know, okay, well, this phase is over now, so I don't have to worry about that.
Right.
So
okay, I don't have to worry about being attacked now. But no, you're always potentially going to be attacked.
You're always potentially going to be attacked. And so every player can use their resources to draw more cards. And it typically takes 3 resources to draw another card. So if I've got 6 open resources, I could use 3 to draw a card, use 3 to draw a card. And you can use your resources to play more resources. So everybody can kind of build up more resources, everybody can kind of build up more cards. And the other thing too is that there's a dynamic battle system. So most of the card games, you got your characters or monsters or whatever it might be, and they have some kind of way to do damage and then maybe some kind of damage that they can take. We have a 3rd battle stat called speed, which determines when damage is dealt in a battle. So a higher speed character is actually going to do its damage first against a slower speed character.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned attacking. That's the part I'm interested in. Can we possibly set something up here and just show what an attack would look like?
Sure.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so we've laid some things out here. This is my side of the table, and this is your side of the table. I have some resources. This is my faction card. I have some units out here. I have a location, right? Well, I'm going to initiate an attack here with you, but I am a little concerned. You have 2 defenders. I'd like to remove one of these from play. So if I understand things correctly, I have an ability here on the home record called Prostrate.
Yes.
And I can deplete this location here to then force you to deplete one of your characters. Is that right? I would like to get this one out of play. Okay, now I think I'm ready to declare this attack. So I will deplete the home wrecker, and I'm attacking you, John.
Okay. So now I have the option to block, which I don't know what you have. You got a lot of open resources and a card in your hand. I don't know if I want to take that damage, so I'm going to go ahead and block with my Bloating Bask.
Okay.
Okay. So my Bloating Bask has 4 strength, 3 life, and 2 speed. Your character has 3 strength, 3 life, and 3 speed. So you're faster than me.
Higher the number, faster the speed, right?
Faster the speed, he gets to do his damage first. So right now, my character is actually going to lose out on this battle, won't get to do his damage, and that's not good for me. But I have a little trick I can play.
Of course you do.
So I can take 4 of my resources,
yes,
and I can attach those to my faction to actually play a resource.
Okay.
So I'm going to play a Rage. Now, if you look at the rules text of the card, there are 6 icons there, which I control 6. When I control those icons, I unlock the rules text on that card, which causes this Bloating Bask to gain 1 strength, 1 life, and 1 speed.
Okay, so now our speed is tied.
Our speed is tied.
Okay, that's not as good as it was earlier.
It's not as good.
Okay.
So now you actually have a response I think that you're going to do to resource being played.
So I can respond to what you're doing as well, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So you can respond by playing tactics or using ability.
Now I'd like to do something here. I need to tip the scales in my favor. I do have something in my hand. I'm going to play it.
It's not good for me.
Let's hope not. This is Sudden Osprey, and this is going to allow me to pick a character and again give it 1 strength and 1 life this turn.
Yep.
All right. So I'd like to give that to my home wrecker, put myself in a slightly better position here.
Right. And so you'll attach the 2 resources there to play
yes, that's right. I do have to pay for it. It's not free.
Yes, it's not free.
Nothing's free. Nothing's free. Well, actually, I do have something here. Not free, but I'm going to deplete this character as well. All right. And this one is going to give me a special ability as well. It says I can pick a character, and then the effect is this turn that character either gains or loses 1 speed. I think I'd like to gain 1 speed.
Okay.
All right. So again, my home wrecker now has the advantage on you in the speed
Right,
value,
so it's a 4 strength, 4 life, and 4 speed character. I'm still sitting there at 3 speed, so you now have turned the advantage in your favor. And with only 2 resources and no cards in hand, you are actually going to win out this battle.
Okay, so what happens when I defeat your character? Does it go away? Let's hope so.
So yeah, you'll assign your damage at speed 4, which is 4 points, and I have 4 life, and I'm at speed 3. And so that gets dealt, my character goes to the discard pile, and I have successfully blocked you.
Okay, excellent. Well, listen, tell me a little bit about, do you have organized play for this game?
We do. We have a fully developed organized play system, and it's called Spoils Elite Gaming. And stores can sign up for that. We'll send out monthly promos for players to win. We've got foils that they can win. We have also Elite Rewards program where when players play in events, they accumulate these points. At the end of a 6-month season, however many points they've accumulated, they unlock these rewards. They just get sent to their store, and then they can get all these cool things like dice. We've got these custom dice. There's play mats that players can win. And so there's a lot of things that players can do. They compete for rank on worldwide ranking boards. And so we also have winter championships, seasonal championships, like spring championships, end of the season elite rewards championships. There's a lot of things going on here. We even have a world's championship at Gen Con.
What about expansions?
So expansions. The next expansion coming out is called Holy Heist. It's the next set in the Unlikely Heroes block after Shade of the Devoured Emperor. And that's going to the printer in July. So look for that sometime soon.
All right, so there's lots already here in the starter kit. There's more coming.
Right, the new player kits are fantastic. They contain 5 intro decks. They contain 5 foil resources you can't get anywhere else. So if you've got a veteran spoils player in your area, they're probably going to want to trade you for those resources.
You said 5 starter decks?
So 5 starter decks. You actually get 1 for each trade. It's a really good deal. You get a card box. You get 5 random foils. It's just a great entry-level product.
Excellent. Okay, well listen, John, thank you so much for sharing the spoils with us, giving us a sense of how it works. And of course, thanks all of you for watching.